The following hometown program is brought to you in living color on WBBZ-TV.
Welcome to the Daily Buzz 716. I'm Mary Arno. We are back live from the Erie County Fair, and we are having so much fun with the rides. Hey, fair! Mostly with the wonderful audiences we've been getting here. But today on our show, we will meet an award-winning teacher from right here in our own backyard. Plus, we'll get a real lesson on Hamburg history from a lady who has seen it all. And we will meet Mr. Polka, our own Ronnie D. And of course, more fair food. Get ready, it all starts right now. Okay, ladies, before I ask you what's on your mind, get ready.
Okay,
we have had a group of really wonderful, talented young people helping us this summer. Most of them will have their last day before they go back to college tomorrow. However, one of them is leaving us today, and that is Jamie Hager, and we have so enjoyed having her this summer. Jamie has been a wonderful presence on the set, smiling, happy, and she's happy even now. However, the person she's been helping mostly, who was our producer Kelly O'Hara, is crying out there. But anyway, we wish Jamie good luck in her school next year, and we'll tell everybody else goodbye tomorrow. And before we start, another special thing, we want to give a shout out to our friends in Salamanca.
Yes.
We got a call from Mayor Michael Smith, who says, we're their favorite show in Salamanca. Yay, Salamanca, we love you.
Yeah.
And there is,
keep watching.
Keep watching. And also this weekend, that's Saturday, August 19th, there's Discover Salamanca Day on Main Street in Salamanca, where you can experience Native American culture, alpaca, Amish, and Native American culture. So take a ride down and enjoy Salamanca. And
it's really a beautiful place.
Thanks for calling, Mayor Smith.
Oh, yeah.
And
yes, we're glad that he's watching.
Yeah. We're glad they're watching.
We're glad all of you are watching.
And it's a wonderful place to go, right in Cattaraugus County.
I love their antique mall because I lived in Olean for 8 years, so we would go to Salamanca all the time. It's really a beautiful place to go.
Speaking of going places and shouting out, our own producer, Kelly and I and some of the other ladies went to the Bison's game last night, and they gave me more gray hairs. Oh, did I say that? No, more blonde hair. And by making it a really tight game and finally winning at the last overtime,
Tell us
the
why
last
you were
extra
there.
innings. And, well, first of all, shout out to the Bisons. Thank you for winning, because we sat there the whole night and we were really upset and yelling and screaming.
But you were there for a special reason.
Yes, the Divas were singing the national anthem.
O'Connell and Company, Divas, sang the national anthem at the Bison's game, so that was fun. And do we have another incident of things coming and going, Judge?
Coming and going.
Like chases?
Yes, this morning.
Oh my gosh, Mary,
there was
that
a
was really
high-speed chase this morning.
Yes.
In Hamburg that ended at about 5 a.m. With the person actually crashing the car. They got to over 100 miles per hour as far as speed. The car caught on fire, and the person actually got out and started running. They caught it didn't say if it was a gentleman or not, but they caught the person. The person.
We're just assuming
and he was taken away in an ambulance.
And why did you say he was speeding?
Oh, he was speeding because he was trying to get here for the show.
He was trying to be the first one in the audience.
Oh, yes. He didn't
you don't
want
have to speed to get here. We have enough seats for you.
We'll save you some food. You don't have to,
But we are so upset, speak for myself, but all of us are upset about these high-speed chases, about what danger these people are causing to other persons on the road. Innocent people very often are injured.
Thank heavens no one was injured this time, except her.
Yes, and it seems to be way too common, speeding and causing police officers to chase them, and as they said, it's danger to the police officers as well, to law enforcement. And there was a story I just saw related to this in the newspaper nationally, that they did a study, and they said, the headline said that deaths by motor vehicle are down in generally, but the main reason for these deaths by, driving motorcycles, motor vehicles, and motorcycles is not drunk driving, not distracted driving, but speeding. So why can't they just follow the speed limit? Who can be in that much of a hurry? And it's really dangerous.
I'm surprised, like Mary said, that it's not more for distracted driving. Because it seems like
everyone was surprised, and everyone thought, truthfully, it was going to be drunk driving, which we know is a horrible situation.
I think the police have to make a judgment each time they're going after, and sometimes they just have to let a speeder go because they figure there'd be more danger in chasing him than in letting him go. But sometimes if the person, I don't know, if they might have a weapon, or maybe they're driving erratically so they could hit somebody else, the police just have to chase them.
And there was someone speeding this morning on the way into the fair, the judge and I.
Yes.
And the cops turned on their lights and, Mercedes, are you speeding? I'm like, no, Judge.
Mercedes is driving.
I mean, someone got pulled over right in front of us.
Let's point out that you two were carpooling to the fair.
Yes.
Good job, girls.
Yes, right. Saving energy, and plus the fact that I never know how to get anywhere and talk about and get lost. We've come here every single day since, I don't know, it started, and I got lost going home 3 times. So thank you, Mercedes.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Judge.
One other thing I'd like to talk about is the lead story in today's Buffalo News about Niagara University becoming the largest, not the first, because some of the smaller schools already do, but the largest local school not to require SAT and ACT for admissions, which, there's some, according to the president, Father Mayer, the president of Niagara, he says high school grades and coursework, in other words, how hard and how well a student has worked over 4 years, is a better predictor of success in college than a very high pressure test taken on one day and that students are scared to death about. I personally think that the looming Excelsior scholarship that Governor Cuomo has enacted, and that is drawing a lot of students that otherwise would have gone to small private schools into the public schools where they get more of a tuition break, might have more to do with it. But I don't know, what do we think about that?
There is a lot of pressure surrounding the SAT and the ACT. I mean, I know when we were talking about it this morning, the producer, Kelly, was saying that she passed out during her SAT. I mean, because of the pressure.
Boy, Kelly, you're really in the news a lot today.
She's a star of our program today.
I remember the intense pressure, but at the same time, I do think they're needed. So, I mean, it's kind of like a...
Well, one thing, Niagara isn't getting rid of it for some of their more competitive programs, their nursing program, for instance, which is, I think, a big draw at Niagara. They're still going to require ACT and SAT for that.
But I think it might be, in a way, another example of, I don't know if you can say lowering the standards, but of society today looking at everything, oh, this is too much trouble, this is too stressful for our kids, this is too difficult, why should we make them compete? But on the other hand, didn't we all have to do it? And isn't there something to be said for using some kind of standards that not everybody might be qualified, or to, if they're not going to succeed at the SATs, then maybe they're not going to succeed, I don't know if it's a predictor or not, in college.
But maybe it doesn't mean that we're lowering the standards. I mean, it could just be us staying relevant, us changing with the times and the different generations. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're lowering.
I don't know, but I think it's something to consider.
Well, the real Ivy League competitive schools are not going to get rid of them, for one. So the really, and you know what, it doesn't say that you can't take the SAT, and I'm sure if somebody's a really good test taker, it would help them even in a school that's test optional. And test optional is not new, because my sons were applying for college in the last year, and several of the places they were looking at, they would say, hey, look, apply here. You don't even have to take the SAT. So it's,
so it's nothing new.
It's nothing new, but Niagara is pretty big to be doing it, and that's why I think it's more to do with Excelsior.
It's going to be more common, and the other schools are going to adopt it too, although, as you pointed out, the Ivy League schools and the quote-unquote are not going to do that.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, there's another thing too. It's an example of, would you want a doctor operating on you, an accountant taking care of your taxes,
it's an
engineer who couldn't.
What do you call the guy who graduated 298th at the UB Medical School? Doctor.
So you're saying because they didn't take the SATs?
I'm saying because maybe because they didn't get a high enough score, or maybe they didn't take them because they're not qualified or they don't know enough to pursue the career that they're, thinking about.
Well,
Some
we're
of it
going to
might
have
be
next
dangerous.
a person that is really qualified to tell us about it, and that is the only person in Western New York on the National Teachers Hall of Fame. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We are here with Ashley Dreyer from the Lewiston Porter Central School District, the only person in Western New York that's a member of the National Teachers Hall of Fame. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you.
Ashley just showed me she has the equivalent of a Super Bowl. Her Hall of
The
Fame.
title sounds like a Super Bowl winner, and we're excited to have a Super Bowl winner in education, which is so important.
Yeah.
How did it happen?
Thank you. Well, parents actually nominated me to be a part of the National Teachers Hall of Fame, and then there's a selection process, and that's comprised of corporate America and different organizations within education. And so across the nation, they select 5 National Hall of Fame inductees each year. There's 130 teachers currently in the National Teachers Hall of Fame in Emporia, Kansas, and it's a wonderful program which recognizes career teachers, so teachers with 20 more years of teaching experience. And it starts out with a nomination, and then there's a process that you go through, including submitting a video of your teaching and so on and so forth. So,
Did they clue you in that they were nominating you?
yes, you absolutely know that you're being nominated because you have a lot of essays and things to fill out and complete, and then you don't know, however, when you are selected. The executive director flies all over the country. Southwest has been a great partner for the National Teachers Hall of Fame, and she flies to, well, this year there was an announcement in Hawaii, Alaska. We had an inductee from Alaska, Michigan, and then, of course, New York.
So she goes and views you in the classroom.
Well, yes, she comes right to our school, and there's a surprise announcement, and that's what happened at Lewiston Porter. She came to Lewiston Porter.
Did you know she was going to be there?
I did not. I thought my students were winning an award that day. The principal had told me to, make sure I was prepared, bring my students down to the atrium, and Carol was there to give me the good news that I would be part of this year's class, the 2017
Well, I know
class.
you're probably too modest to do this, but you have to anyway. Could you tell us, like, your qualifications, like how long you've been teaching, and how do you think they chose you?
Well, I think that I've been teaching 22 years, and I'd attended Canisius College and Buffalo State for an administrative degree, and also I'm a doctoral student at the University of Rochester. So I feel as though I have a diverse background.
You're educating yourself through your
right, and
on into your career.
I think professional development has been a key component of success in the classroom. I think it's important that teachers keep learning throughout their career, and the NYSET, the New York State United Teachers Education and Learning Trust, I was the regional coordinator for that for 10 years. So I had the benefit not only of organizing professional development for other teachers, but also participating in some really neat professional development over the years from people like Charlotte Danielson, who's written the frameworks for teaching, of course, and other very well-known educational authors and teachers.
Now, you've gotten to go to the White House twice.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, the first time was in 2014 as the New York State Teacher of the Year, and I got to meet President Obama in the East Room. And that was very exciting. We saw the Blue Room and the Green Room and all different parts of the White House. We had a tour, and typically the ceremony is in the Rose Garden. However, it was raining, so we were in the East Room. And what was really nice is that Arne Duncan, who was the U.S. Secretary of Education at the time, said, "You have to high-five President Obama because he will love that." And I said, "I can't do that. He's our president."
Was it just you or everybody?
It
was there a lot of
there
people?
were about 50-some state teachers of the year plus some territories.
So he's telling them all to high-five?
Right. No, just me.
Oh, okay.
So he dared me. It was a dare. And I took it. I did it, of course. And yes, President Obama loved it. And he was very personable, and I enjoyed my time speaking with him. And he spoke to each one of us as we went into the East Room, and then the National Teacher of the Year that year gave a speech.
Is there something about your teaching style that you feel resonates with the students and obviously with the parents as well?
I think what resonates with the parents is that I want to their vision for their child and what they see their child doing in their future. I teach students with moderate intellectual disabilities and developmental disabilities becomes my vision. So I look at the teaching profession in general as a customer service industry where parents know their children best and they have a vision for their child, and whatever that may be, it's our job as educators to make sure that we help them be successful in reaching that goal.
But you're working with older high school children, so certainly they're still parents, they still have the vision, but I'm sure you have to take the child or the teenager's vision into account as well.
Oh, right, and that's usually co-constructed.
Even if it is a special education student.
Yes, usually there's a lot of self-determination that happens, and I think that my students are very close with their parents, and they work together to create what their vision is for their future, and then it's my job to make that happen. And I think that's why, you know, we have 3 school dinners every year where the parents come, grandparents come, brothers, sisters. For
the whole school?
For just my students.
Oh.
And
so this is something you have organized?
Yeah, so there'll be about 40 people in my classroom, and we'll have a Thanksgiving dinner that the students prepare, or a spaghetti dinner that the students prepare for their parents. Because I have a life skills class, so we do a lot of cooking and things like that. And it really creates that sense of community, which I think is so important in education, because it really does take a whole village to raise a child.
Now I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
You were involved in a special project inside the classroom with Ashley Dreyer on WBBZ-TV.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, it's a wonderful way to recognize public school teachers. And I think that, you know, teaching is really a noble profession, but teachers don't really get to be recognized as often as they should. So I wanted to select 13 teachers each year to be on the program, and we film them inside the classroom and then interview them in the studio, and they really do a great job discussing their practices and sharing the information that they've learned so that other teachers can benefit from it. And I think it's been a great way, you know, to honor a profession. This season coming up, we have Lewiston Porter, the fitness center, that will be highlighted. It's a $3 million grant that we received from the Carol White grant from the state. Isn't it gorgeous?
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh, it's just it's a gem, and it's probably the nicest, I would say, gymnasium and fitness center in Western New York. So I'm excited to highlight that, and other teachers in other districts. We have a teacher from Canton, and so a lot of different school districts, Hamburg and so on. And so I'm excited to be able to do that.
You know, teachers are so underestimated in society, and even get, you know, bad rap about too many vacations or not passing standard tests and so forth. Are you, I think, as part of your job, are you trying to, you know, educate the public about how important and essential teachers are to society?
Well, I'm always trying to educate the public, and what I would say is that right now the biggest thing that the public needs to know is that teachers make all other professions possible, and public education is the cornerstone of our democracy. So while we're having this fight with charter schools and our tax dollars are going to fund charter schools, we have to understand that, to me, it's more of a form of disguised segregation. We're going to take students that do not have disabilities, we're going to take students that do not have learning issues and put them in a charter school. But charter schools won't be able to service everyone, and that's what public schools do. So I think if charter schools are taking public tax dollars, they need to accept each and every child into their buildings.
And you've done such a great job of recognizing other teachers. Ashley was recognized herself, and she recognizes other teachers. We've got to take a short break, and we're going to be back with somebody that can tell us all about Hamburg history. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Have you ever visited the Hamburg Historical Society? Our next guest has been an active member for well over 50 years. Odds are, if it happened in Hamburg, she can tell us about it. Welcome to the show, Lucille Ervelina.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
Thank
So
you.
you were just telling us 50 doesn't even say. 1953, which is more than 60.
When we got the building.
Wow.
So how did you get involved? Can you tell us the story?
My mother was very, I don't know whether people know of Julia Reinstein. She has the Reinstein Woods.
Yes.
She was very active and interested in history, and she fought and fought for that building, and she was my mother's dear friend. And that's how we got it. They first started doing historical things in other little buildings where they'd given a stand, and then they got that building. And all the little towns in Erie County put their exhibits in every year. Yeah.
So you said your mother was a big part of it, and that's how you got involved.
Yes, she was very active in it.
Okay, how did you guys, what type of work was entailed in building it up to what it is now?
Well, Julia started the Historical Congress, she started a thing with all these societies.
Okay.
And that's how she got it going. You know, they worked in there and got in touch with every historical society. And there's booths in there, and people put their exhibit in each booth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question to ask. I want to know where you stand on the hamburger debate. One of our guests that we'll have on later, Scott Leggett, who is a big New York hamburger fan, said that he actually almost got in a brawl because he mentioned something about hamburgers starting in Hamburg, New York, and was overheard in his travels by some women from Hamburg, Ohio, who disputed that. So what do you say?
I've heard the same thing, and I'm not much
What's
involved.
What's the true story?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh my gosh, if Hamburg, New York Historical Society doesn't know, and Hamburg, Ohio is out beating people up again, I think we're going to lose here, folks.
I didn't have much interest in that. You know, it wasn't in my...
Okay. So you don't want to vote on whether the water tower should be painted like a hamburger either. What do you think?
I think it should.
Okay.
You think it should or it shouldn't?
No, it should.
It should. It should.
Okay.
Go hamburger paint.
We have Hamburger Day in Hamburg every year. We just had it a couple weeks ago. And it's big and it's great.
And it's good for the community, right?
Yes.
It gives community interest, I guess. Yeah.
What makes the history of Hamburg so special? Give us a couple of reasons you think Hamburg is so special.
It was a farm town, and they furnished all the food for Buffalo, you know, back when it started. And I've lived there all my life, and it was a farm town when I was little. It was a very small town, and a lot of farms around it, but now it's grown.
And I'm sure they had cattle that they were sending to Buffalo to make hamburgers, right?
In other words, they were providing food because they were agricultural for the rest of the community.
So what's the Yankee hay barn? Tell me about that.
That was on 219 in Hamburg.
219.
And they wanted to get rid of it. It was the only Yankee barn left in Western New York. And they brought
it like from the 1800s, or?
Yes, very, very long ago. And they took it down piece by piece and brought it. Our historical society is straight across the street on South Park from the fairgrounds. And they brought it over there. And in a few years, we had people put it back up. And it was a beautiful, beautiful barn. And during that terrible storm 2 years ago, it went down, which hurt us.
Can it be rebuilt? Or?
No, but we took parts of it, and 2 years ago we made a replica of it, or whatever you want to call it, and we put it in the historical building down here in our booth.
At the fair?
Our booth, yeah. And we have that in our museum now. So.
And what about the Red Horse Barn?
That is good, and we had a big
Still
door.
Standing?
Yeah.
Still standing?
Still standing good. And we also have a jail on our property. It was a Hamburg Village lockup. And they gave that to us about 30 years ago. It was in a lady's backyard. And of course she took the jail, they took the jail out and made it a handy, you know, be a building. And they gave that to us. And we fought for years and years to get it back the way it should have been. And this year we had it put back. And we had a grand opening 2 weeks ago with our chicken barbecue. And Steve Walters, the head of Hamburg, was in one cell, the chief of police in another, and one of the woman politicians from Hamburg was in the third cell. And they had to raise enough money to pay for we had a big brass, you know, a sign made about the history of that jail. And they had to make enough money. They had to get bailed out.
What is it that you got in your lap there?
Yeah.
This is from the fair.
Oh, look at
And
this.
Abraham Lincoln's is
Happy
in-
birthday, Lucille, 2014.
And all the
Abraham
pictures-
Lincoln is wishing her happy
and you
birthday.
and Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, and all the pictures of the historical building over the years.
In there.
Yes.
Wow. And you're a big part of the Erie County Fair as well.
I've been here all these years. I was a friend of the fair for 25 years, but I retired this year.
What is a
from
friend of the
that.
fair? What does that involve?
There's a lady, are you the friend of the fair too?
Yes. Somebody in our audience.
We are volunteers and we work here. And
During the fair?
During the fair. We don't get paid, but we love it.
So you show people around,
Yes, they work
keep
in
them out where they
information.
shouldn't be.
Yeah, I always worked in the information booth.
So
And that
people
lady
that-
there is one.
So you help locate lost kids and whatever, which we really need at the fair.
Yes.
And we've got to take
Yeah.
a short break, but when we come back, we will have the Polka King. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Are you a polka fan? If you are, you know and love our next guest, whether it's on Polka Buzz on WBBZ or on his Drive Time Polka Show on WXRL Radio. Ron Dombrowski is the king of polka. Welcome, Ronnie.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. I've watched this show many a times, and now I'm honored to be here.
Just many a time?
Yeah, many
Not
a time.
all the time?
Well, it kind of works sometimes.
Hey, Ronnie, did you learn this as a kid, or were you interested in this when you were younger?
I
or
was
it
always
grown
interested
up?
in broadcasting, and I became good friends with a guy named Big Steve. He had a band, Big Steve and the Bel Airs, and of course, one thing led to another. Him and I were at a radio station at one time called Woo Woo 107.7.
Yeah.
It was locally owned. And after that was sold, him and I had this idea of let's do a 7-day-a-week polka show in Western New York. Nobody's playing polkas on the radio every day.
Yeah.
And that was back in 1986. And of course, Steve, God bless his soul, he's up there looking down on me. He passed away in 1999, and I just kept the thing going. But him and I were partners from '86, so actually I've been keeping this thing going since 1986.
So this is a combination, obviously.
Oh, it's great.
I mean,
It's great.
Are you
Is
guys
it because of the Polish heritage, you think?
I think, you mean the market here? I think
Yeah.
it's a combination of everything. Yeah, we have a good Polish population, but it's amazing. Like I'm broadcasting here at the fair. I've been since last Wednesday, and it's amazing that people would stop by. I mean, most of them are Polish, but there's non-Polish. There's all different.
Well, polka's fun. It's a good
It
dancing.
makes you happy
it
and
makes
snappy
you happy.
and smile.
uplifting?
And if you're down in the dumps, you want to crank up a polka, and you'll start smiling and toe tapping and just having a ball. You know?
So what?
And-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, down at the fair, gate number 2, off of McKinley. Come see me. I'll be there today and tomorrow.
Broadcasting live.
Live.
Every day of the
From 2
fair.
until 5.
2 till 5, live.
The first 3 hours now, I'll be playing classic country, which I have been. I help out the Ramblin' Lou family, the Shriver family. I love playing country. I started with Ramblin' Lou back in 1979. He gave me my first job. So I love country. I love polkas. So I'm down there. I'll be there today and tomorrow.
Kind of the same sort
Yeah.
of, not the same beat, but the same vibe.
Lou used to always tease me because there's a lot of polka songs that are actually original country songs. So he would always tease me. He would say, Ron, the polka musicians are stealing our country songs and turning them into polka. And it's the truth.
Well,
And I miss him too. He was such a great guy, and of course he was here at the fair for 51 years. His kids are still keeping the tradition going. It's their 53rd year playing at the Erie County Fair, the Ramblin' Lou Family Band. They're going to be performing today, right through Sunday, 5:30, 2 doors down at the Tops Avenue of the stage. Be sure to catch them. Tell them Ronnie D said hi, and they'll.
So what's it like hosting Polka Buzz on WBBZ-TV?
I love it, and it's a little different than doing the radio. Okay, everything's more timed out, obviously, on TV. When I'm doing radio, it's kind of like free flow.
A lot more time,
You know, if I want to
sort of whatever you think of, you can say.
2-minute commercial, I can do a 2-minute commercial. But no, I love doing Polka Buzz and WBBZ. I love being on the radio every day and playing polka music and making everybody out there smile and toe tap and having a great time and cheering them up.
I have a bone to pick with you, Ronnie.
Go ahead.
He was walking between Mercedes and me in the Pulaski Day Parade, and it was one of those, what am I, chopped liver moments?
Yeah, it was.
Everybody, I mean, it's like he's the rock star of the Pulaski Day. You know, everybody along the route is yelling, Ronnie D, Ronnie D, Ronnie D, and I'm going, I got the candy. What are you yelling at him for? You know,
You know, all the different shows on BBC we've had. They made me play pickleball. They made us do Zumba on camera. And I was thinking when you were coming, I hope the segment is over soon before John and Kelly get up here, take the chairs away, and tell us, okay, polka. Okay, polka time. I said, oh.
So now you're giving them ideas.
It's a happy type of music.
I hope it's too late.
And you know, it's really happy. It makes everybody smile. I love the Polka Buzz TV show and working with all you folks, as I do love working with the Ramblin' family. And of course, Sunday mornings I'm on WBCK.
And you're also, Polka Buzz is on Sunday mornings as well.
That's right, at 11:30. We run the previous week.
Now, when you go to Potts Deli for Polka Buzz, where you film on Thursdays, it's kind of, a lot of it's the same crowd. They come week after week. They love it.
They're loyal. They're dedicated.
They're loyal. They're dedicated.
You do get, you know, obviously a little different people depending on the band, because each band sort of has their own following. But it's
when you had the Polka Queen, she was a big draw, wasn't she? What's her name?
Oh, Stephanie, America's Polka Sweetheart.
Polka Sweetheart.
How did she get to be the polka sweetheart?
She inherited from her mother, right?
Yeah, her mother was Wanda and Stephanie originally. And Wanda has passed, and she's up in polka heaven with Big
Stephanie's
Steve.
playing the accordion.
Stephanie's playing a concertina.
Oh, excuse me. Looks like an accordion.
I think it's sort of the same thing.
No, it's fun. I hope anybody listening or watching comes down today and tomorrow, sees me at gate number 2. I'll be there from 2 till 7 broadcasting. When you're done, you can go up and see WBBZ. I know John's been up there. I've been up there the last few days.
Did you win?
Oh, the Buzz Drop.
Buzz Drop.
I was there just talking to people. And
Did you play?
Keeping John company.
She brings some music.
Oh, yeah, well.
His name is, he's a buzz dropper.
I saw that.
His
My picture was on there.
Yes.
We were all at the bottom.
Okay, so while we have you here, what's your favorite fair food?
Wow, there's a lot of them here. I mean, Italian sausage with onions and peppers. French fries are always good. Don't ask me which one, because there's a zillion types of French fries.
Polish foods.
Well, you could have that too, but babcia's pierogis.
Oh,
you can't forget about babcia's pierogis. They are so delicious. They are so delicious. In fact, I had Linda.
She's a sponsor of Polka Buzz.
Both the radio show and the Polka Buzz. Both.
We love babcia.
I know. Linda and George.
Ask her if she'll come back.
She was here talking to me on the radio the other day. Linda, yeah.
Makes great.
They do.
Wait, let me see if I can say it right. Pierogis. She says it so beautifully.
Do you have guests on the show?
My radio show?
On the radio show?
Yes.
You do.
Guys can come down later.
But okay.
Yeah.
But I meant like ordinarily, not just at the fair.
No, I do.
But on the program.
Not on a regular basis, but if there's something of interest they want to talk about.
Okay.
And there's guests at Polka Buzz as well, right?
Right. That's we got to invite everybody. Thursday, September 21st. The next taping of Polka Buzz at the Potts Banquet Hall.
Start practicing.
I want to see you there.
Start practicing now.
Well, you don't have to polka. You can just come on out and
eat and drink.
Well, that's a relief.
Be merry.
Have a little Polish beer.
Be merry, toe tap, finger
That's
tap.
a relief. Okay.
And smile. Smile, because it's fun. Polka's a fun thing.
Yeah.
Just like country music's a fun thing.
Country's great too. Like I say, I love being involved with WXRL. It's great. It's great.
So if you have to say one thing from radio and television, what's one thing consistent as far as the audience for polka music?
They're all loyal. I'll tell you, the country music fans and the polka fans are loyal. And there's a lot of duplication, because a lot of them that love country love polkas, and the polka lovers love country. It's great. It is a good fit. It really is. As you know.
So you think you're going to do this forever? Is going to go on forever?
I'm 58 now. I mean, I don't know.
All right. Looks like forever. We can count. We can count on it.
Forever comes.
I don't think I'll ever catch up with Ramblin' Lou that was at the fair for 51 years.
No.
And his family's still here for 53. This is my 12th year at the fair.
Okay.
Well, and since you'll be here forever, I think we're going to go on to our next guest. We'll have we'll have more fair food, our favorite part. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We are here with Scott Leggett from U.S. Foods, who is going to show us some recipes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, we've known each other.
We have for quite some time.
Stop. We weren't going to go into the time.
For quite some time.
But you have like an interesting background in food.
I do.
Service and history.
I'm the corporate chef for U.S. Foods. We are a proud sponsor of the Erie County Fair and the sole food distributor to all of the fair vendors here this year. We're also the proud sponsor of the Erie County Fair Cooks, which is where we are now. This live cooking demo, where cooking demos are going on all week through the entire length of the fair.
So you're responsible for this wonderful new space we're in.
Most of this came from our friends at Delaware North, wonderful people to work with. We set up a schedule of cooking demos. There is Christopher Van Wagner. There are the guys from Delaware North and Hamburg Gaming. There are some chefs from the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute. Anybody who hasn't been here yet really needs to come out and see some fun live cooking demos.
Give us a little bit of history on you. How long have you been making people happy?
Yes.
What a nice way to put it. Thanks so much for that lead-in. That's a great lead-in. Actually, I've been working in kitchens in the food service industry for, Judge just asked me not to date either of us. Let's go with 35 years. That's a nice round figure. That's a nice round figure. And currently, I'm the corporate chef for U.S. Foods. U.S. Foods is a national distribution company. We have over 60 operating divisions across America. Our local division is just off Union Road. I spend a lot of time at our corporate office in Chicago. I spend a great deal of time traveling around the country, visiting our customers, showing them new and innovative products. We also have a great deal of work to do behind the scenes for customers that you don't get to see when you're in their restaurant.
So your customers are restaurants?
We do restaurants, hotels, country clubs, pizza parlors, retirement homes.
You provide foods to them, and
we provide the basic goods that they need to create their menu with, from canned goods to fresh meats and seafoods. We also supply them with electronic applications that help them order their food, help them bring new customers in, help them do online ordering, help them keep their inventory.
Social media.
Yes, very much so. Very popular right now.
You had to learn that recently, right? When you started out, they weren't doing that.
Can we try some food?
Can you? You didn't get
This is my favorite segment.
You didn't get any breakfast today.
So you have 2 dishes for us, right?
I do. In my travels, I've kind of discovered what people are really looking for, pardon me while I reach in front of you, is not necessarily spicy, okay, but world flavors, bold flavors.
Tasty.
So what we're going to do today is I have a couple of, and I apologize again, Judge, I have a couple of curry pastes here. Curry is very popular, except on the end of the demo area here. But curry is very popular. People always ask me, what's the difference? Because every culture has some form of curry. Japanese curry, Thai curry, South American curry.
You think Indian is what you mainly think of.
The first thing you think of is Indian. The main 2 differences, what we have here today that we're going to talk about, are Indian curry and Thai curry. Notice I didn't even need to look at the label. I could see which one is different.
How do you tell what's...
The Indian curry primarily comes from dry spices blended together.
So it looks
you
thicker.
can tell.
It looks a little thicker. It's also a little hotter up front when you taste it. This is a Thai curry. Comes from a lot more pureed peppers, lime, cilantro. So it's going to have a little spicier finish on the back end when you eat it. But what we're going to do is we're going to take that spice away a little bit today. I'm going to start with the Thai curry first. In that bowl, just a little bit of that curry paste. This is one of the mother ingredients of Asian food. This is coconut milk. That coconut milk goes in there.
So it's really more coconut milk than curry.
Oh yeah.
Is that hard to find? Coconut milk around?
Coconut milk, curry pastes, anything you have here you can find in the local grocery store. Just go down the aisle that you don't normally go down. Experiment a little bit. Try some new things. So into that one, we're going to put a little bit of chopped cilantro.
Awesome.
We have some fresh diced mangoes.
Ooh, yum, my favorite.
We're going to put a little bit of onion in there, and in this one, I want a little bit of tomato product. So you can take about 6 or 8 hours to make a nice, rich tomato stock, or you can do what I do. You can go down the juice aisle and Tops and get a little bottle of V8. Because the nice people at Campbell's have already made a lovely vegetable and tomato stock for you.
And that's a lot tastier than just plain tomato juice.
Absolutely. Right. It's got a little flavor profile to it. Now, some of the local fare. Who doesn't have a garden full of zucchini right now? Or who doesn't have somebody at work that has a garden full of zucchini, or a neighbor? So we're going to toss some chopped up zucchini, yellow squash. This is a secret that we're not supposed to know. When chefs are doing things like this, they do what I did this morning, is just clean out the cooler. So all of those things get blended together. Tomatoes, zucchini, yellow squash, and the mango. All of this gets blended together. What a chef is looking for out of these ingredients is something that's going to hit the palate in a completely different area every time. You have some sweet, you have some spicy, you have some savory, you have some umami from the green. And that, for example, pardon me, will go right on that plate there, and that's the fastest and easiest way to try some curry. Now, the next one we're going to do, the different curry, just so you guys can taste the difference in which one's which and who's who, just a little bit of the Indian curry. We're going to start with a similar base, except this time we're going to add yogurt to that.
Oh my goodness.
So you have spicy.
Now you got something I like.
You have tangy.
The yogurt, that's more of an Indian ingredient.
Very much.
As opposed to the coconut milk.
Still a little bit of coconut milk, just because we want that little bit of body in there. We are going to add America's new favorite condiment. Do you know what this is?
No.
I'm afraid to ask.
This is sweet chili sauce.
Oh,
wow.
Many years ago it was ketchup. It then became salsa.
Oh, yes.
And now it's sweet chili sauce.
With kids, it's probably still ketchup.
You know, when it comes to the curry,
like a bragging rights question.
Is one a little more spicy than the other, or would you say it's the same?
I would say they're about the same spice level, but one's going to get you up front as soon as you taste it, and one's going to have a spicy finish.
Okay.
The same thing here. We're going to do a little bit of tomato, because we want that rich tomato flavor to offset that Indian curry. A little bit of cilantro. Same vegetables we used before. Yellow squash and zucchini. As goodness knows, we have plenty of zucchini in our gardens. This one, though, we're going to add a little bit of rice noodles. Same principle as regular pasta, only made with rice instead.
That looks really healthy.
Yeah.
This looks so delicious.
Scott, does anything have a name? Or did you tell us already?
You know what?
Or did
I'll
I
bet
not
Scott
hear?
can tell us that when we come back for some final thoughts, because we got to wrap up right now, but we will be back. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We have kept Scott Leggett with us for our final segment so that he can keep us in line and before we dig into the Indian curry and the Thai curry.
No pressure there.
And we also have with us some interesting fair foods. We've got avocado fries, which we will taste. And Judge Penny, if she's brave enough, will try the jalapeno kettle corn.
Judge Penny is going to pass it right down.
Judge Penny is a chicken.
I know, just, you know me, it's like, uh-oh.
These are good.
And before we start stuffing our faces, which is our favorite part, I want to give our lucky number announcement. If you visited our gazebo at the Erie County Fair and picked a lucky number card, check out your card. Today's winning number is 3005. 3005. If that's your number, take it to the WBBZ studios at the Eastern Hill Malls, and you will get your prize of $20 playtime at Dave & Buster's. And remember, no purchase is necessary, and you must be 18 years of age or older to win. So now, ladies, let's eat.
Woo! No,
yeah, I want to try that.
I asked, but we didn't get the answer. If Scott named his dishes, like if anybody wanted to make them, or
this one, for example, is a Thai curry vegetable salad.
Okay.
I went with cold food because it's pretty warm. People like something a little bit lighter. This is an Indian curry vegetable and noodle salad.
Okay.
And they're both delicious.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And do you think anyone that's watching would be able to make this themselves?
Exactly like I
That's
did.
your point? Okay.
It takes one trip down the aisle in your import section. All these ingredients are available
All
to you.
right. Okay.
So you know what? You made it look so easy, but I'm not convinced it really is that easy. But I tell you what, it's really that good.
It really is.
Yeah.
So we have to leave. We have to wrap up. We'll finish eating. Don't worry. The food won't go to waste. Thank you for watching WBBZ-TV. We really appreciate you watching us on the air. You're being in the studio with us here at the fair. We're loving our time at the fair. We'll be here tomorrow. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and stay tuned for tomorrow for Daily Buzz 716.